people say, if you want to make a quick money, stick to automotive. If you want to build an empire, start looking for flat glass.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Born to Tint Podcast with the Miller Brothers. Flying solo today. I'm excited to sit down with Kevin Lecat from Solar Gard, Saint-Gobain, head of the Panorama Program. Got into an in-depth conversation of him coming into the industry, where the future of the industry is going. And after this podcast, we are actually starting our first 3 days of academy, and he's joining us. Really excited for it. Check it out.
The lucky one, because I wish I have one in my office.
I wish they made more... I wish Solar Gard had more stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because the quantum, even like the folders with all the different film specs and everything, obviously couldn't read anything on them, but they were beautifully displayed.
You don't speak Chinese?
No. Unfortunately. No, I do not. So, I mean, and the funny part was too, we were able to bust out our phones. I think that was when the AI photos and stuff where you can take a picture and tell it to translate. It translated everything for us to where it was like, oh, these are nice. But I wish we had that here in the US for what Steve was saying, though, the cost of printing. But it's like, just print it in China and ship it. I'm pretty sure it'll be 10 times cheaper. But so thanks for coming in.
No, definitely. Thank you for receiving me.
Oh,
good to be there.
Yeah, no. When funny part is when we were doing the team advisory meeting, that's when Steve texted me. He goes, I think I want to send Kevin. I was like, love it. Absolutely. Yeah, I think it worked great in the fact of kind of get to see the operation. I'm still a little, I wouldn't say stressed, but probably a little stressed just to see, get it off the ground. I have the outline of how I want to do things, but seeing if it actually comes.
For tomorrow, you mean?
Yeah, for tomorrow. And then, for both days, like you guys already sent all the film for us. So the goal is to have each person put up at least minimally 500 square feet or close to 500 square feet, which, as you can see with a lot of smaller windows, you're going to be doing a lot of cutting. Yeah. And then a lot of criticizing from me.
I mean, don't expect to be challenged on the techniques by me.
Well,
you know it. But no, it is great to be here, and it's great to be part of this training. I think it's part of the architectural strategies that you help to drive, and for you, I mean, access to education and to elevate the industry when it's come to the architectural and all the knowledge that you could share that could be only hands-on or theoretical. I think it's great, and no, definitely happy to be there with you.
Yeah, I mean, this has been. I think I first talked about this with Steve. When was it? I think it was after SEMA of last year. No, it was. I take that back. It wasn't at SEMA of last year. SEMA is when we actually had the walkthrough and we first started the podcast actually being in here. It was, I think, well, it wasn't a year. It was that past year though, where I think the previous SEMA, there was already talks going on between me and him. I know he was trying to get me back on the auto side with Solar Gard because we had switched to be a 3M pro shop.
Yeah.
And then me and him started talking. And then I think he came out to just like take us to dinner, have a conversation. I got like 2 sentences into the conversation. He was like, done. Like, tell me what you need. If you're going to do select shop and you want to do the academy, like, absolutely, you have our full support. And it's been really nice to have the full support of everyone, every person that I've talked to, from Steve, Rob, even you, like even the first conversation, our first one-on-one that we did over the Zoom call. Yeah. It seemed like we aligned in a lot of spaces of the fact of like our big shortage in the industry, which you even being coming in as an outsider from the film industry, you pretty much already locked into the fact it's installers. We need the labor, so it's very exciting to kind of get it off the ground and hopefully start getting to the point running at least one class a month. And then if demand's there, run more than that, Yeah,
definitely. So it's going to be, for me, it's going to be the only film, the only film that I installed already. It was a 14 mil. So the only film I installed in my life as of today, 14 mil safety for the armor code training. And yeah, it's part of you know, the learning curve since I joined and Solar Gard. I'm part of Saint-Gobain since the past 10 years, but like the Solar Gard and the window film industry is such so many technicities into these industries, and it's something that for me, not being able to install and of course it's part of the learning curve, but was not my number one priority when I took the role, because basically to help us to drive the architectural vision, mission, strategy over the short, middle, long term. Of course, it will definitely facilitate to install the film to get better, but at least getting to know first the science behind the film. And that was really what was extremely important for me, to make sure I do really have a very good understanding of the film, because it's such a technical industry when you think about it. So yeah, definitely looking forward for the next 3 days together.
Yeah, no, that's something where, because, you know, I've grown up in this industry.
Uh-huh.
My dad really stayed in his lane with the certain films we sold.
Mm-hmm.
And it was most of the films, if you look at the film glass chart, all in the green, to where you knew you could, like you were safe. You could put it on almost any window. Certain Surface 3 windows, even with the dual reflective, you can get away with it.
Mm-hmm.
But are you really doing the greatest service for your customer? Because now it's retaining so much heat on that inner pane. It's now radiating in, which I understood that stuff, but not really. I was just obviously in my lane of just stick the film to the glass. And I wish I would have paid attention more and put more effort into the panorama meetings. So I look back now, first one I went to was in 2006.
Yeah.
So I was 17 years old.
Uh-huh.
I was going for the fun time.
Yeah, but I mean, it's part. So I think it's part of the learning curve, right? It's like everything that you're gonna do, and especially when it's come for you as a family business. You've been starting as a kid with your brother, with your father, with your sister, and little by little, and years after year, you've been growing and growing your own skills as I think as anyone is looking for personal development or professional development. I mean, it's for me, there is no right or wrong answer until it's something that drives you on the everyday, right?
Yeah.
You have to be on the every single day. I know you are a big sports fan and extremely hardworking when it's come to pushing yourself to things that you want to realize when it's come to sport, but also for work. And yeah, I think it's part of it. So you've been there around in Panorama Pro meeting, and of course you've been learning without even knowing that you are learning. You know what I mean? Like you were not chasing information, but in one day or another, it came to your ear and you were learning without knowing that you learned.
No, I would agree with that, because I saw what dealers were always kind of the big dealers as year after year when I was able to go. I think I've missed a couple years here and there, but we've always had a presence at that meeting. I don't think we've missed one as a company. We've always, either my parents have been, or I went, or then it was like me, my sister, and my cousin went. So we've always had a presence. But I've started to realize and kind of see the people in the room. The two main guys that always stuck out to me was Steve Clark and Jared at Pacific Tint. You know, I got lucky enough at the last Panorama meeting that it was me, Scott Iverson, Jared, and then one of our outside sales guys came with us. We got to go golf one of the days that you guys got tied up in meetings. I tried convincing Steve to come, but he couldn't. He was tied up. He's like, I can't. Shaw has a bunch of stuff he wants to go over with us. But like just even getting to know Jared even more, and like even letting him know, like, dude, I've been chasing you. And not to say like, oh, I want to be better. No, I see how you carry yourself at these meetings. I see the respect that you get from everybody else without, and also too, not like he's definitely not the type of person to sit there and demand, like, you must respect me, because I'm extremely humble. And it's like, you're what I've been chasing. And he's humble enough, like, no, you don't want to do that. And it's just like, no, I do. I've seen the projects you've done. I see the scale of the projects you're going after. Like, that's where I want to get. Like, we have our niche out here. Like, we have our big project that comes along every once in a while through the contractors we've made good relationships with. But for the most part, I'd say we're heavy residential. And like, you know, we've now steered our way towards high end residential, trying to stick in that lane of what we offer and what we can do. But like the big projects, that's my goal. And, you know, I mean, we were just sitting down with a meeting today with our business mentor. And we were kind of going over our numbers of where we're trying to scale to, what we need to make in a month to pretty much break even, know that we're not at a loss, where we can start making profit and all that. And then I started bringing up those type of jobs, and he's like, well, how hard are those to get? I'm like, well, we have different websites that we can go through that our manufacturer provides to us. And then technically it's just, we have to sift through the jobs and find the jobs that are requiring film. Contractor doesn't necessarily care who's doing the job, and you can bid on it. You just got to find it and bid it and have knowledge. He goes, well, who's doing that now? I'm like, well, no one. I mean, our sales is tied up in leads. And he's like, oh, well, you should be doing it. I'm like, thought about it for a second, because at first I've always kind of trying to give my brother the leeway because he's our sales manager. He does all of our outside sales, to where it's like, I'm not trying to step on his toes, go after a big job or anything like that. But it's like, if he's already crushing it with outside sales with our residential, and we don't have the room to breathe, even go after them, like we can't land anything that we don't try to go after. So it's one of those things I had to step back and be like, yeah, he's right. I mean, as of right now that we've gotten this off the ground and get this rolling, it's that's where my focus needs to be now, is actually start sifting through those plans and trying to find those big jobs either wherever I can, and then start bidding on them.
Nice. So like the split between you and your brother, Josh, and you is like, Josh is the sales manager managing the day-to-day operation of the project that you have, and you're gonna act more as a chasing project and a relationship to get more exposure to different market segment or different commercial. Okay.
Yeah, no, okay. That's because like as of the past, I'd say year and a half, where we've shifted to, it's like, for me, install wise, I'm hardly touching installs. Like the extent of it's like what I was doing on that truck. I was just helping take the truck apart. I might have to step in and go do like a warranty job where it's like, guys unfortunately left something on the window that didn't look right. And it's like, it got elevated to me because I already know that we're booked out like 2 weeks. I'm not trying to have them backtrack. Like, they have their repercussions where if I have to go out and install, they don't get the square footage. And I'd say we're very lenient when it comes to our material, like to where it's like, everyone's going to mess up. I'm not going to sit there and charge you for the material. I would prefer you not to have anyone go back out. If the window's messed up, it's messed up. Trying to see if you can get past the customer, like, is never a good idea. Like, it's just take it off. Like,
clearly. And then redo it. And
I'm going to eat the material no matter what. I don't want to eat the time. And when I mean time, like, because obviously they're going to have to restick it right then. But if I have to drive all the way back out, either look at it, or most of the time a photo will tell me everything I need to see. Or I look at a photo, I know it's like, all right, that's standard moisture. If I can talk the customer off the ledge, let them know, saying, hey, my guys just didn't make a good enough pass, but that will dry out. You know, it's summertime right now. It's about to be 110, 115. Like, that'll go away. But you see something big enough to where it's like, I could tell my customer, even like safety film, like I left some pretty, I wouldn't say sizable moisture pockets, but moisture pockets that I wouldn't have left on a customer's job on my own house. I think it was towards the end of the day, I was putting 8 mil on my sliders. And like, I saw it and I was like, that's not going to bug me enough I'm not taking that off my window. Left it there. It dried out. And it was underneath the overhang. Like, it got sun just as it sets in the afternoon. It took about a year and a half for it to go away, but I mean, it did go away. So it's all right. But I can't tell my customer that. Like, hey, about a year and a half from now, you're good to go, bud. Like, so, but those are the things I've tried to. Those are things I've been dealing with operational wise. So I stepped into because like complete operation side of the business. Get me the job. I'll solve the problem of getting the job done. Either putting the appropriate installers on it, even to managing cutting the patterns up or anything like that. That is where my lane has been. And then also getting the academy lined up and getting that ball rolling. So, and then my brother about a year ago, Yeah, year and a half ago. He stepped into sales. The person we had doing sales was my cousin. She was having her second child.
Okay.
And at that point, she still planned on coming back to work. But as the second child came, it was just one of those things. She came, she's like, you know what? Yeah, I think I'm done. Which it was good separation, and it like I understood it. Like I have one kid. I know how hard one kid is.
Yeah.
Adding a second one to the mix, I mean,
timing was good.
Yeah. So it worked out. So my brother stepped into the role, and it's always something he's kind of wanted to do. I've always thought I wanted to do it. I took over sales for about 3 months when she had her first child. I mean, I did a serviceable job. I mean, I sold work. I kept the guys busy enough. But I mean, I can do it, but I don't enjoy it.
Yeah.
And I can pull it off because I'm knowledgeable in film. And then when I'm speaking with the customer, they can tell I've been doing it for 2 decades, and I can earn their trust that way.
Yeah.
But being like a salesman, like my brother got that from my dad. My dad is really good talker, where it's, the saying, sell a ketchup popsicle to a lady with white gloves. That's my dad. He 100% could do that. And my brother is, as much as he might argue with me about it, he's my dad's twin. And not to say that I haven't gotten traits from my dad too, but when it comes to sales, he absolutely loves it. And, he got to, as soon as he hit the ground running with it, that's when we started increasing our pricing, because our demand was there. And now we're at a price point now where it's like some of our older customers might be a little taken back by the price, but at the same time, like everything has gone up in price.
Yeah.
I think we're typically right now for dual reflective for slate anywhere from like $18 to $26 a square foot, which go back a couple of years, getting $18 a square foot for highlight, we were ecstatic about, and that film costs way more. But I mean, the market's definitely changing.
For like when it comes to price increase, it's interesting to see the dynamic since, like, for example, COVID, when everyone had to deal, like manufacturing company, distributors, dealers, you name it, anyone had to deal with price increases. And when you look at the past, you look at the first company that implemented price increase, which it's not easy to be the first. Like you're going to be the first one to say, okay, we don't know where we stand. We don't know what's going to be tomorrow, but we have to act because we have to make sure our employee is going to get paid. We have to make sure we have, let's say, 200 people running in operation. Next year, we want to keep 200 people, right? We don't want to be at 150 because we will have an operating margin that will be much lower. And basically, if you sometimes most impact that you're going to have of not being able to place your price increase, not placing price increases to get prices higher and just to increase your margin, but it's a risk assessment. It's a way to offset your inflation, to offset different costs, your variable costs that may increase, your fixed costs that may increase. If you are renting your place and you have a 10% increase on your rent, how do you incorporate this 10% increase on your rent into your end user price? And I think it's part of any and especially everyone has to be involved in the past 5 years in price increases. No matter if it was for you something that you had to do because all other distributors or people were doing it around you, or because you were leading, because you really wanted to step ahead to protect your business. But I wanted to come back to what you said about Jared, and I think Jared was our first panorama dealer. So when you look to the history of the program, Panorama that always existed and Panorama Pro that exists since the past 5 years, Jared was among the first working with us, and still today an amazing partner.
Yeah. No, yeah. Like as much as you might hate me saying this, but without even trying or noticing, he was mentoring. Like I watched him be mentored by other people, and then I kind of sat in the wings because I was just a young punk kid. And like I said, there for probably technically the wrong reasons, but still soaked up knowledge. but it's like I wish I would have engaged more. But I look back now and it's like I think everyone has that thought about their past. Like if I could go back to high school with the knowledge I have now, I mean, I look back, I played sports in high school and I thought I worked hard, and it's adorable.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
no, I did not. And then now like the kids that went on, because Vegas produced or still is producing a good amount of like pro baseball players. And like a lot of the kids growing up, like I knew of them, I saw like, but you see their work ethic and you're like, oh yeah, they're psycho. And it's like, no, that's what it takes.
Yeah.
Like beyond the talent, you have to have the talent, but then you also have to have the crazy drive and the work ethic. Like Kobe Bryant being one person that like for some reason, it probably because he was on the Lakers and just for some reason I disliked the Lakers because everyone liked the Lakers. I didn't understand Kobe, unfortunately, until his passing, and then started consuming his content.
But you are not the only one. I think a lot of people have really learned about Kobe Bryant after he passed away, and the story behind and the effort behind the athlete, and yeah, it's part of, I mean, you can. The beauty of it is that you can be extremely a good student when you are a kid, when you are starting to try to learn about life, the theoretical things of life. But when it's come to growing up and after, I will say 25, 30 years, you really start to be much more engaged into what is real life. So you pay your rent, okay. And then if you pay your rent, you only have your wife and you don't have kids, basically you have let's say a very easy life. It's not judging what I'm saying. I'm just saying the life starts really when you start probably having a family, things that you have kids growing, you having your parents to be older. So really a real problem in life. And the thing is that for very good student at school, you can be an extremely good student at school and doing okay in your future life, or you can be a very bad student at school on just the theoretical way of learning at school and be extremely good and successful in your way afterwards. And it's all about the dynamic effort, motivation, mindset. And that's the beauty of, I think is that for me as a French person, that's the beauty of the US, because it's really much more anchored in the American mentality, the mindset. Rather than I think European mindset. It's really things that are really different between Americans and Europeans.
Yeah, no, it's definitely, that's one thing. Like my dad, without ever trying to push us, showed us work ethic, and like that stuck.
Yeah,
and it's not like he had to smash anything into my brain or anything. I just I witnessed it. Like the shop raised me. Like it was my babysitter. Like if my mom was working her because she worked at Vons or Albertsons as we first moved out to Vegas, because that's what provided us with health insurance. And my dad was at the shop constantly, and it's just like if I get out of school or weekends, I was at the shop. So I learned it just from watching him, and that's definitely something that I've implemented with my son. Like I try to do as many things possible in front of him to make sure he sees it. Like I started. So I never was really a big reader in my life. And then I realized like, all right, like I want to further myself. Like, yes, I can listen to audiobooks, but I've went back and I've read a couple of books that I've already listened to, but like reading them and then challenging myself to reading, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna read 10 pages today and kind of time myself. And then I've realized, like, all right, actually reading through this, it's helping me improve my vocabulary. And then if I do get stuck on a word, I actually look it up. And then all the tools that we have now to help with that. But like, I'm just trying to lead by example. Like anytime he knows I go for my runs in the morning, and like recently he's been getting on me like, you didn't wake me up. And it's like, dude, I woke up at 3 a.m. I'm not waking you up at 3 a.m. So just next time tap me on the shoulder. So where it's like every once in a while, like I'll tell him like, yeah, I came in, you were asleep, so I won't let you sleep because you need to get your sleep, man.
But you probably make him day be probably among the best day in the month, because doing this with his father, even probably not at 3 a.m. for the little kid that still have the brain cells and every part of his body to grow. But it's probably you are a role model for him. So as any kid that you can have, it's as you say, the ethics. It's probably the fundamental, the number one thing that you have to do. Speaking about the window film industry or any industry in general, if you want to be able to step up and to be considered as an expert, a reliable source, someone that you can simply trust blindly because you know the work ethics of the company or the person working in the company. And at least for me, it was one of the my main motivation of joining Saint-Gobain. I started to work early. I started to work around like 15. For example, McDonald's. McDonald's was my first work doing my studies, and I was working side of my studies. And I started in McDonald's, very standardized, ethical company. I had a great time for a 15 years old boy. And then I've been working in, like, for example, continue to work until 18, 20, couple of companies. And I never met, and of course it's a small 4 to 5 years experience with different industry, different companies, but I never had such a great feeling other than Saint-Gobain in the groups that we are working with, in the work ethic. I started as an intern, like it was a 3-month internship. I had like 20 or 21, and I started, and only 3 months people were just extremely caring about me, making sure I'm gonna put my brick in the wall, and I'm gonna have things to do. I'm gonna be responsible of things, and we are a very large corporation. So if you operate in a small company and you have an intern, of course you're gonna be probably more flexible taking care of intern, but Saint-Gobain, they have thousands of interns every year, and me as an intern, I was. And still, we are a grain of sand on the beach. There is so many people working in large corporations like Saint-Gobain, and the good thing is that you truly see the ethics of the company when you know that every single person within the company is not only considered but cared for. Everyone have a word to say during any meetings. And that's the true human ethics, I think, especially for our generation. People are more and more looking for value company and making sure you're going to be working in the company with ethics, value, principle,
and culture.
And the culture of the group, I've always been amazed, and still today, after 10 years, working for 2 businesses now, it's every time you find the same equilibrium into the spirit of people, the way people respect each other, the way we conduct our business internally and externally, the way we operate with customer, the way we're going to sell to customer, the way we are sharing transparency. Latest example is with EPDs, environmental product declaration. I mean, no one forced us to do this. No one requested us to do EPDs. Just a matter of fact, being fully transparent in our manufacturing data capacity, making sure people are aware about the transparency of our product. And I think it does mean a lot when you try to at least me, if I were tomorrow a window film dealer, or any businesses outside window film, if I had my business, I will try to look for companies that really stand behind an ethics. And it's like really walk the walk, not talk the talk, because it can be super easy today to build your brand awareness, to promote such an amazing image online on whatever your company can do. But it's still on paper until it's proven. You know what I mean? It's like, everyone can dedicate and create a full brand awareness online, which sometimes does not even stand behind what truly is the company. Sometimes it's even the opposite. So yeah, I mean, ethics in business are fundamentals.
So you've been with Saint-Gobain, you said 10 years?
Yeah, I'm going to my 10 years next year.
So you jumped on
10 years.
So you jumped in right at that 350 mark then. That's right when they Solar Gard, when that acquisition happened. Because I remember them coming in, and it was just kind of like us trying to get the feel for, at the first Panorama, and them introducing Saint-Gobain of like, hey, this is why we picked this company. And even with I think the guy's named Peter, the one who did the write up story, like
Uh-huh.
the conversation me and him had, and it's like, you know, 10 years ago, I wouldn't say I was stubborn, but I was stubborn, but it's like it seemed like to get things done or get triggers pulled to have that let Solar Gard like do things, it seemed like they were kind of being held up. But like after the past 10 years, my eyes have been open to the fact of like very methodical with what they do, Saint-Gobain. And if anything, it's like, all right, now like you everything has an effect. We are going to vet this out and not do it so slow to where it's going to jam anything up, but doing things the right way, the correct way. There's no reason to rush into something like even we just got the EPD book.
Yeah.
I think it came in like 2 or 3 days ago.
Yeah, Lindsay and her team did amazing work on this. Yeah.
Yeah, and like the fact that they went through those lengths to show that transparency, it also shines a light in my eyes of how the company values itself, and it's like you said, the culture, the transparency of everything. It's like, and we're not being forced to do this. We're just going to do this because we want to show you that we're trying to do the best we can in all aspects of our company. Which I've thoroughly enjoyed the Saint-Gobain and the Solar Gard relationship, because I mean, we were with Solar Gard. We've been with them now over, technically, I think I actually remember my dad, for my first role he bought from them was when they were DTI. So 40 years ago.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we've always carried Solar Gard. Now we have picked up other brands here and there, and the environment has changed in the industry. Because I do remember in the early 2000s where it's like, if you even mentioned another manufacturer while you were repping one solid manufacturer, there's a chance that company was going to drop you. Yeah. And it's like, you wouldn't dare say that you could sell a panorama film and then all of a sudden be like, oh yeah, I sold a 3M film. Because 3M wouldn't allow you to sell their film because you'd have to drop what you had just to go to them. And thankfully it's opened up a lot to where it's be loyal, you know, be loyal, be transparent, to where it's like, if I've ever gotten a lead from 3M, like from their website, I go in with their product. You know, it's like, and so if my customer's telling me like, I know I found you guys on the website, and the same thing goes for Solar Gard too. Any lead, it's like, that's where it's going. It's going towards them. And if you can service the both manufacturers, because I mean, at least in our marketplace, we can do that. Now there are smaller marketplaces out there where it'd be a lot harder to do that, but we have so much glass here that it's, you know, if my customer, if they're saying this is the problem they want solved, and if I don't unfortunately have that tool from either Solar Gard, I'll then span out to see if I can do something with 3M. If 3M can't do it, I try to find a manufacturer to where I can solve the problem. And now I actually have the leniency from the manufacturers. They're like, hey, we don't have this product, but we're looking into it, because I know it's even happening with Solar Gard itself. You know, I know that we've had talks about the whole turf protection thing, and I know that's already been something you guys are already working on. And it's a tough problem to solve, because you have to have a product that can go on the window without breaking the window. Yep. And then you have the variable of, well, and these are things I wasn't even necessarily thinking about until we had further conversations. I had other conversations with other people, is which way is the house face? How high off the ground is it? How far away from the turf is it? And it's like all these different variables. It's like, we can account for most of these things, but even the slightest angle change, which we're experiencing now, we've had, I think, 2 turf burns with the product that we're using now. And it's the last one I went out to, it made no sense for the product to be burning the glass. Like where it was located, we've never experienced it. We're about a year or so into selling the product, and just like walking out there, it's just, I think literally the way the angle of this house was sitting, and they weren't even high windows. It was the low windows that were burning the glass. And you know, I was just had to tell the customer, like, to be honest, you're the first one this has happened. Like I haven't had any other projects where this has happened, and we had to pivot to use perforated screen. And it's like, we try not to use this because we know that a lot of people don't like the way it looks. It looks ugly. And, you know, it is what it is. But like the leeway that we have now that we didn't have back then, and then also I think just the culture in our industry has completely changed. It used to be, don't talk to your technical competitor. Like anyone else in your city, you wouldn't talk to them just because you're the fear of maybe losing a job or a client or a customer or something like that. I feel like that's finally starting to melt away. And I'd say you definitely came into the tin industry in a very good spot. And even the fact I love that like Solar Gard and Tint like that coming together, which I absolutely loved. When I found out about that, I think it was before it was even announced too. Yeah. When I found out, I was stoked. I was like, yes, this makes all the sense in the world.
Yeah.
Like great people on both sides, both looking to grow the industry, help the dealers out, and make things easier for everyone. Because if it's easier for us, we're able to buy more film, sell more film, and that helps you guys. And that helps Eric. If we're able to onboard more people into TintWiz. And even the way Eric carries himself in his business, it's, hey, not everyone is my cup of tea, or not. I shouldn't say it like that. Not everyone values TintWiz, or they don't see the value in TintWiz because they see the kind of legwork you have to do to get it up and going. But the ability to adapt that program to your company and use it in so many different ways, it just makes you so much more efficient.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And it's part of like what we say for example, for the real estate, like it's location. Yeah. The window film industry, the same will be education. Yep. It's the way I think where exactly what you said, the industry change. I was not part of the industry 25 years ago, even 5 years ago. I was not working for the window film industry. But one thing that I've been and reading about and just, surrounded by such an amazing expertise from our team. I did the math because I know you discussed with, I think, Rob and Steve in the podcast to try to understand how many years we had of expertise in the sales team, North American sales team. And I tried to estimate it, and it's like probably more than 200 years of expertise. And the beautiful things of it is that it's an industry that is constantly changing. So of course it was not the same 5 years ago, but it's gonna keep changing at this rate, because when you look at the history of the industry, it's still a new industry. I mean, the window film industry started in the 60s. Compare with the glass industry, or compare with the ceiling industry or the tile industry. I mean, the glass industry is 1 century after Christ.
Yeah.
And we are still manufacturing glazing system and improving glazing system years after years. And there is a dynamic in Europe. There is different dynamic in North America. So when you look at it and you truly see what you said about like 20 years ago, we used to have like manufacturing company, and you were engaged into an emotional relationship with them, right? Yep. So it was if you were making a mistake, it was a divorce.
Yep.
And when you look at it today, there is plenty of room for everyone, at least in today's industry, to be able and to sell as a manufacturing company, because we do everything from the raw material sourcing to the transformation of the product, and beyond that to the analysis of even the film and everything. But yeah, when you look at it, even more today, I think it's even more important not only to be much more educated into the film itself, but also to be extremely good at marketing your brand, having such a strong brand awareness, and I think that's the key differentiator today for any manufacturing company or a distributor, will be to be able to democratize the information and the education, and to make it easy, because it's a technical industry, and probably a lot of people that try to go, for example, in flat glass, I think sometimes people do not look at it don't think it's that technical, even people that know the industry. And for example, if you want to start a business in flat glass, I mean, I'm not an expert, but what I can see with my own eyes in the past 2 years is that you have to look at it like you are creating, literally for me, you are creating a new business. Yeah. Like you want to be educated to use the meter. It's not going to take you 1 month to only 1 month to be 100% confident on the field using the meter. You're going to have to take some time. You're going to have to invest time, invest money, and nothing is too complicated, but you have to build a strategy for diversifying your business. And I think in today's world, in our industry, we are at this switch of really a key differentiator between really the players that are going to be extremely good at education, extremely good on focusing on the technical side of the business, because this is the way you're going to differentiate your business versus other, being the expert in the room and having a meter, for example, arriving on the project and having the meter in front of the facility manager of the building. The person look at you totally differently. You are not the window film dealer. You are the person analyzing the glazing system of the building. Probably the person know some of the glazing type around the building, probably not all of them. So it's one part of it. Yeah, I think it's really being able to promote yourself as an expert, and on the other side, making sure you have such a great brand awareness for your company, because in today's world, everything works with your digital campaign or your website.
Yep.
And yeah, so it's interesting to see the evolution, at least for me, being an outsider of the industry. I mean, today I'm insider since 1 year and a half, but it was very interesting to have try to have a full understanding of where did we started in the 60s, where we are today, and the goal is to try to understand where we're gonna be
Yep.
in 2030, in 35, in 2040, and that's a very interesting industry because it's moving extremely fast on a lot of different things.
Oh, absolutely. I think that's where, for me at least, seeing where Solar Gard has kind of positioned itself, the things they've been going after, I think obviously it helps to be connected to that company that is a glass company, already kind of knowing for the most part where that industry goes, because what happens in the glass industry affects us dramatically.
Mm-hmm.
Like early 2000s, like dual reflective, you had mostly annealed clear glass.
Yeah.
Like you were making big differences. Now you start getting into these windows that are low E, surface 2 or surface 3 low E coatings. Now really either without a meter, you're not able to even access films that you can put on a window that you don't even realize.
Mm-hmm.
Like a surface 2 triple silver low E, you can put a dark film on there. You can put a dark non-reflective film. Now you got to make sure all the windows are like that.
Mm-hmm.
Still get it approved to the manufacturer, do the glass check and everything. But now we have the capability of doing that, which beforehand it would have just been like, no, we can't put that on there. It's going to break your window.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, no, we can. Or for exterior install.
Yeah.
I was on the East Coast, what was it? Beginning of this year, visiting some family. We were in Pennsylvania. I think it's the first time. Well, the bug stamp was, actually told the whole story of the window, which kind of shocked me. But I could read it. They were Milgard windows, and it was surface 4 low E coating. So I went to my wife's cousin and said, hey, I'm just gonna let you know, if the kids ever put stickers on these windows, do not scrape it.
Uh-huh.
So if you scrape it, you're going to destroy your window. You're going to have permanent scratches on it. So you have a coating on the inside of this window. Which it makes sense, though. In Pennsylvania, like, it gets extremely cold in the winter. Like, you want that as close to you as humanly possible to retain the heat. So I was like, if you're ever going to do anything with windows, make sure you go exterior.
Yeah.
And now having the actual films to do it, and I'm seeing the other films coming down the pipeline to be able to offer even higher heat rejection. I mean, when the DX line came out, like at first it's like, how are we going to really sell a lot of this? We sell a lot of it, especially on a commercial setting. Yeah. Because if you run into an office or a suite that has a bunch of offices and walls in the middle of the window, it's like, I can kill 2 birds with 1 stone now. Yeah. I don't got to move all your stuff out of the way, which saves me on install time, which my guys love. But now I can cover up where that partition wall is placed in the middle of your window. I can just tint the full window. So now we have a nice, beautiful aesthetic on the outside. Yeah. And then if you really are going for heat rejection is your main problem, you can get up to 91% heat rejection. And it's like a truthful 91% heat rejection. Yeah. I would say that's the other big thing in our industry that you'll see a bunch of bickering about on the Facebook groups, is how the specs of films are actually being presented to customers, or how people are selling them. And there's 2 groups. There's one where you can say, well, this film can hold up to 79% heat rejection. You're not lying. But are you telling the customer what type of window system it is? Yeah. And what is it actually truly holding out? Yeah. a lot of people would fear, and I'd say I'm as guilty as anyone else too, just because I didn't understand A, the products, or B, the glass itself when I was younger. Is you're going to take a dive in total solar heat rejection, but the window itself is already doing heat rejection too.
Mm-hmm.
We're adding to it.
Yeah.
So if I'm not getting 79, that's fine. I'm not getting 60, 63%. It's still
and it's still very
difference.
good. Yeah, it is. And you're not going to change the window. And even by changing the window, you will probably, unless it has been the window that is dated back from the 20 years, it has been installed 20 years ago. But yes, that's the beauty of exterior film.
Absolutely.
And it's when you look to the dynamic worldwide of, for example, we sell 95% of our business in Europe is exterior film, and so one of the reasons why we have such a great exterior film lineup with 10-year OSW warranty, because one of the main dynamic worldwide for the European market is exterior film. You go exterior because the glazing system are already so advanced compared to North America that you must use exterior if you want to be really having an impact on the building. But even if, like, let's say we speak about solar control, but look at the development of bird protection film.
Yeah.
This market exists since the past 20, 25 years. You do have a couple of players like Feather Friendly. He has been there in the past 20 years to develop and to share the knowledge. Same with the ethics and everything, but it was still a growing market, but not that big. And even today, it's not a huge market, but it's growing so fast. There is so many demands from the commercial to the residential side, and into, let's say, we do have the window film market. You do have subcategory, sub-segment. The bird protection film is one sub-segment, one sub-market of the window film industry. There is already so many things that are done correctly, and so many things that can be also misleading about solutions that you can apply on the exterior, on the surface one, for the exterior film. A lot of people don't understand how it works, or say, oh, you can install the film on the surface 4, surface 1, does not matter. So it's interesting to see, for me, that I've been working a lot on understanding the bird protection market and aligning our team and making sure we do have the right knowledge to be able to address this market and again to do it right, because every time Saint-Gobain, Solar Gard, every time we do something, we're not going to do it if we are not going to do it right. So it's black and white for us. It's even we give everything that we can, or we don't attack because it's not our core manufacturing business, or it's not a sub segment that we can address for any given reason. And when you look at it, it's a perfect example of the development of exterior film that are slightly, but I think slowly, coming more and more to be to have an interest on our market for North America and Canada. Because you will always have much better effect on the building working on the exterior. That's
from install to performance of the film, because you're attacking everything off that first layer, hitting surface one. So the performance of the film is way better. And then also too, with how it's been developed now, the exterior line, 10-year warranty across the board.
Yeah.
Window warranty, glass warranty, which I won't say who, but I have a manufacturer that have exterior lines that are safe.
Mm-hmm.
They don't cover any glass. And I had to eat now actually multiple jobs, but it stopped me. Obviously I stopped buying it, and it's just like, if you guys aren't you're going to tell me that this is safe to put on a window. Mm-hmm. And it's like, I know it's safe too, because I know the construction of the film, I know what type of glass I'm putting it on. I know there's no shadows being casted onto it, because that's the whole other thing too, is starting to get into that. It's like, all right, is there a shadow being cast on the window? Is it deep inset? All that stuff. But glass defects are there, and I can't see them. Mm-hmm. And I'm not going to sit there and look at my customer and say, well, we can use this product.
Yeah.
But if it breaks, it's not the film's fault. It's just gonna be the window's fault, and then you're gonna have to pay for it, and then we'll go from there. But having the backing from the manufacturer of knowing like, hey, we're this confident in this film, we know this film, follow our guidelines, know what type of glass you're putting it on, know how the shade is hitting the window itself and cascading across. You guys provide the education to us, then gives us the confidence to go towards our customer. And then also beyond that, the confidence of knowing like, if something goes wrong, we can look at our customer and tell them like, hey, we understand glass companies and builders are going to tell you don't do this because the warranty is void. I'm fine with that because my manufacturer is so confident the product they're putting out performs in the best way possible for the type of glass. That's why I put this meter on your window, is so I can actually know exactly which films to offer you. Like, I'm not just going to come in and throw a ceramic film at you. Because that's unfortunately a go-to with a lot of companies around here. They'll come in, they jump on the ceramic bandwagon of because it works for cars so well, and then they start selling, the house films, and then it's like, oh yeah, I have a ceramic film. And it's like, we had a customer that they put a ceramic film on their entire house. Like, I don't feel like it made a difference. We went out, we metered their windows. I'm like, well, you have triple low E silver windows on surface too. And I think it was like, I put like a 35 on there. It's like, it's doing something. It's definitely helping a little bit because we knocked down, the VLT has been knocked down a little bit, but like the only way to attack this window, if you want to see some true heat rejection and actually see a net benefit to this is A, you got to take that off. And then B, you got to go with a dark reflective, dual reflective film on the inside and really knock down that VLT. Or we can go with a light exterior film, depending on which manufacturer we're trying to sell them. And we can go exterior, and we can go exterior reflective if you want to see a real jump in heat rejection. So, and then being able to break that down to them and let them know like, all right, this is how your window works. Like, if you already have that Surface 2 triple silver, like your window's pretty much doing majority of the work already. You know, there's only so many options we can offer you. If you're looking for clear and you want people to see in still, you've got it. And, we are starting to see obviously more of the lighter ceramics for the outside, the exterior of the film, exterior of the windows, to where now we can go hit them with an exterior film and get them that extra heat rejection without darkening the window. But then now you got beyond that, you have customers that, which I didn't know this until probably about, it was like 10 years ago, around that time period, they actually knock down fading on furniture and on floors, wood floors, or if you have a painting or something, or everyone wants to keep it clear because they still want the light in the room. It's like, yes, I can put a clear film on there. I can solve a majority of that problem.
But you will still have fading.
If you don't attack if you do not sacrifice some of your light,
VLT,
you're still going to, yes, it's going to slow it down, but it's never going to go away. And then even being as transparent as letting the customer know, like, I can cover the heat, I can cover the VLT and the UV. I can cover those, but that's still not all of it. You're still going to require a little bit of fading because there's environmental factors, which like I didn't know about any of that. I think we had a customer, she had a green rug and we put slate 30 on, and which it was still kind of baffling how much of a difference it still kind of made, because I mean, slate 30, that was definitely dark enough. And I remember calling Miguel and also Nick too, and like having a conversation with him. And then them breaking it down to me and letting me know, educating me, like, all right, they're like, they sent me like the pie chart just because that's easier to explain to, especially giving a visual to the customer or explaining it in that nature. It's like, this is what controls fading is these three parts. If you only cover two, if we put like, say, highlight 70 on, it's like, say you have a storefront with a bunch of expensive clothes. It's like, if you're not moving those clothes constantly, yes, it'll slow down. But if you leave it there for an extended period of time, it's still going to fade. There's only so much we can do. And
you will always have the 10-15% of fading that will happen no matter what, because of the material composition or the color. The color will have a influence the effect of fading too, the color of the equipment or the furniture. But yeah, that's for me, that part of the beauty of the film, when you really start to understand the science behind. That's why when we started to discuss, I said one of my first priority was to understand. I'm not an engineer by formation. I'm a sales. Always being into sales. But for me, being able really to understand how we produce window film, how window film are made, why you're going to be using a spectrally selective film, why you're going to be using dual reflective film, why you have to promote exterior versus interior. What are the main difference between 8 mil and 14 mil? All those kind of there is so many complexity when you try really to go into the nitty gritty of every single aspect of the film, because every single business cases are different. Every single project, even if there is similarities, will be different. That's the essence of different building, different commercial, different residential, and the beauty of it is that you do have a melting pot of solution. It's such a diversity into the film option that you can have that make it. I really truly understand now. Not that I did not understood when I joined the business, but I truly understand why people are so passionate about the window film industry, because it's an industry of patience, patience and patience,
and problem solving. That's another thing too.
Absolutely.
I mean, but the fact that when you came in, that you wanted to understand, technically, like you said, the nitty gritty of like what each film does and what problems can be solved.
Yeah.
But that's what makes you a good. That to me, what makes a good salesman.
Absolutely.
You gotta know your product inside and out. It's. I thought I understood film just because I grew up in it, and like over the past, I would say probably 5 to 6 years of really starting to get into the business side of it and really understanding the products. Like I understood majority part what I was doing, but like even when it comes to low E, like my first exposure to low E is when Ecolux was released, and they actually they had us do like a little quiz to actually explain what low E is, what it can do, and it's like, oh, that's what that is. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And then start getting into the numbers and what those numbers represent. It's like, I've been doing this my entire life, and I haven't really scratched the surface. And still, even to now, with even all the products that are coming out now and all the new innovations that we're having within our industry, because manufacturers have to adapt. Yeah. Have to roll with what is being thrown at us. Like I said, the glass is getting more and more efficient. So it's either you just pack up shop and stop selling film. No, you go to the exterior. Yeah. Because now you have the coatings there. You have 2 coatings. You have a coating on 2 and 3, and then you have a coating on 4 too. So they keep all the heat retention in. It's like, well, no, naturally you have to go outside. I mean, the writing's been on the wall for a very long time, especially because everything in Europe is usually way more ahead than it is here. Yeah. And I remember having those conversations with Nick, Miguel, about like, hey, and they were, even at the Panorama meetings a couple of years ago, they were already saying like, the future is exterior. Yeah. And which, as an installer, of course, I don't want to hear that. Like, what? Come on, Vegas, summertime install. Really not looking forward to that, which we actually come to find out our installers actually do enjoy the fact of like, if we do early morning install, it's always fun calling the customer to schedule it. And it's like, all right, so we'll be there between 5 and 6 a.m. And they're like, what? It's like, well, by about 9, 10 o'clock, it's going to be like 95 to 100. Yeah. And depending on where the sun's facing, we won't be able to install it because it's going to dry as we're sticking it. So they get a nice early start to the day. And then they're usually done about 2, 3 o'clock, depending on what projects we have lined up, because we could have an early start. And it's like, we're always asking our guys, do you want more? Because you tell us how long you want to work. I'm never going to demand anything out of you, and I'll provide you guys the 8 hours. But if you want more square footage, you just let me know. We'll book an interior job later in the day. Yeah. We're going to start you off in the morning with an exterior job. I think this morning we had like 350 feet of DX5. And I love DX5. Very nice looking. Very nice aesthetics. So well. Yeah. And then how much DX15 looks like slate. Later, actually, we'll walk over to the building where we're going to go grab a bite later on. There's a building right across the street that we put slate 10 everywhere on the interior. They wanted dark. They wanted keep as much heat out. And then they had a couple false windows up top that were just black, but they wanted everything to match. Yeah. So we put DX15. So having that small partition between the interior and the exterior, like there are probably certain times of the day as a tinner, or if you're from the industry, you'll look at it and be like, oh, those 2 different films. But for the most part, everyday normal customer, you can hardly tell the difference between the 2. It matches up real nice. And then also the performance of it too. Even though that's a false window, there's still heat radiating into that building. Yeah. Now they're able to stop that heat radiating in. I would almost guarantee they're seeing a net benefit when it comes to their energy bill. Yeah, absolutely.
top of your head, will you be able to guess what was your annual sales on like 100%, your split between exterior and interior, like 5 years ago and today?
Oh, night and day. Oh,
Night and day?
night and day. Oh, from 5 years ago to now. So what? 2020. I think the only exterior we were doing then was probably some 3M Prestige exterior, and that was still small percentage, very small. I would say today I'm probably up to like 20%, and I would say comfortable saying 20%, but like maybe a percent before that, almost nothing. I mean, it's now, and I don't say we go out of our way, but like most commercial jobs now, like this morning was a commercial job. Their main focus was heat rejection, and they wanted as much light out as possible. And it's like, it's very easy for us to pivot to DX5 because it's like, all right, so you're going to sacrifice a little bit on the warranty, but you're going to gain this much more in heat rejection. And it's like, as soon as you explain that to the customer, they're like, yeah, I'm good. I'll take that one over there. And then it's like, also, we don't have to stop your operations. We'll come early in the morning. We'll get, before you even know that we are gone, job's going to be done. You know, so it's that's another added benefit too, is like, if you are doing a bunch of office space, it's like, all right, I either got to interrupt your operations, or you got to have someone come in after hours at different times. And then you have to tell everyone to rip everything off their desk, or it's like, we can move it. We can put it back majority of the time. And that's also always a conversation with the customer of when them asking, you know, how fast is it going to be? How fast can you get it done? It's like, well, it all depends on what you have prepared for us.
And do you think like exterior film will, I mean, of course it's much easier, and the especially here in the US or Canada, even in Canada, it's more common to see exterior film. But do you think it's people could be a bit restrained to use exterior film because it's another animal, right? You have to rent later. You have to do things that your business as a window film dealer you never done. So like you have to step up your comfort zone and try. Yeah, now I'm gonna install a exterior. My guy gonna take risk because, of course, you have the risk also of installing and being under later. So do you think it can be a breaking point for some of the dealers saying no, it's not for me?
Oh, absolutely. I would say we were probably one of those companies. We kind of shied away from it. Like, wouldn't say it's completely intentional, but it was probably definitely because we weren't educated enough. We weren't educating ourselves enough. Like it was being presented to us, and but we wouldn't get out of our own way. I would say after the dual reflective release, and then as Solar Gard has implemented more and more exteriors, and then also it was obviously a warranty thing to begin with when they first were coming out. It was a shorter warranty, so it's like, all right, how are we going to sell this to our customer? But that's gotten even easier in the fact that now everything's 10-year. For commercial settings, it's very easy to offer it. And then also having the tint meter, having EDTMs marks the glass check. Because now you get to run into projects to where you would have never offered an exterior because you never knew where the coating is. Like I see those posts constantly where someone will post in a flat glass group that take a picture of the bug stamp, like, oh, is it okay for me to do this? And it's like, I'm reading the bug stamp, because you can get lucky sometimes, and then I'll actually list where low E coatings are. You still won't know what type of coating it is, but you'll know the surface of it at least. But I mean, as soon as we hit surface 3, it's instant exterior, like without question. It's like, I'm not even going to try to pull dual reflective on there, which I've engaged where I can. If someone posts something new on one of those things and I see it, and there already isn't 100 and something comments, because a lot of times I'll scroll through that and I'll see that at least 10 to 20% of people have already said exactly what I'm going to say. So, you know, I'll give it a like or two, like, hey, nope, they know what they're talking about. Absolutely. But like, I'll see someone post something and they'll state that surface 3, you know, is dual reflective. Okay. And it's like, you know, it's tempered and tempered glass. And it's like, well, yeah, it's okay. But are you really offering the best solution for your customer? What's your customer trying to get? If they're trying for heat rejection, it's not the best solution. You know, you're going to overheat that inside window, which it's tempered, so it's not going to break, but you're going to radiate a lot more heat inside that building. So if they're looking for it to last as long as possible and all they care about is darkness, yeah, that's the right solution.
Exterior is the way to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just, it's just one of those things of getting out of your own, definitely getting out of your own way and out of your comfort zone, getting the right tools.
Yeah.
Because that'll be something you hear me say tomorrow.
Yeah.
Is when you leave here, if you don't have a meter, you need to buy one. Yeah. Because if you're not going to, you've wasted your time coming here.
Yeah.
Because that is going to help you get way more confident in what you're selling, and even in the sales process. I mean, with all the different lines that even you guys offer, like you don't want to overwhelm your customer with like, here's 4 different lines of film, and here, within these lines of film, there's like a good 6 different shades. Like you're going to overwhelm your customer. I can easily just go in, throw a tint meter on, and then ask the appropriate questions. What are you trying to achieve? Are you trying to achieve heat rejection, or technically, or security, fade protection? Like, what goals are you trying to accomplish? What problem am I trying to solve? Because just asking your customer that question and then putting the meter to the window, you usually are down to about 2 lines of film, and maybe 3. Ask a couple more questions. We try to offer at least 2 different lines of film, depending on what the problem there that we're trying to solve. And then we'll let them know the pros and cons of each one. You can either go this exterior route with this film, or you can go interior with this film, depending on the coatings and all that. But finally actually implementing the meter, and like that is a hard set. Like we have to meter the window, because we'll get customers that call us like, well, I can give you the measurements. It's like, I understand you can, but I have to know what service I'm working with. Like that's as much as you're qualifying me as the company that you want to use,
I have to qualify on site.
I'm qualifying you. Are you a customer that I technically want to do business with? Because if you just think that I can just throw a number at you and it's just, you're just kind of price shopping or trying to figure it out. It's like, I don't want to give you a price of a film that I could go out there and I put a meter on there. It's, hey, Surface 3. Like, oh yeah, that film I told you, not going to do anything. I have to pivot to this film, and the cost is now going to be this. Now I'm going to get accused. Oh, you're just bait and switching me. You're just trying to upset me. It's like, no, that's the reason why I wanted to come out is I have to meter your window. Now, we will generally, depending on if it's a smaller project, if they do have measurements and they are being very particular of what they're requesting, we can give them a ballpark of like, hey, high to low. But no matter what, if you like what we're throwing at you, we still have to set up a consultation for our guy to come out. We want to verify the measurements, not to say you don't know what you're doing. That has to do with our process. We cut everything up. Like when in the flat glass, we have 2 film handlers on the wall. All of our jobs are cut up before we go out there. We hand film off to our guys. They go do the job. They bring an extra box or 2 just in case. Every time you don't bring one, that's when you mess up a window.
Absolutely.
About 100% of the time. So it's like, that is our sales process now. And having that meter has definitely brought us out of, put us into a comfort zone with exteriors. Because it's so much easier to, you just show the customer the numbers and then show them the meter. And then like literally if they're really trying to make sure that you know what you're talking about, if they even throw a Google on what that meter is, they're instantly going to find out, okay, like this meter is developed for the glass industry. And it's like, we're just using it to make sure that we are doing the right thing with our product and servicing our customers in the correct way.
And then people looking for meter are going to see also the cost of the meter and say, whoa, this is a nice tool to have. And they add the tool to be able to have an accurate visibility on the data of my glazing system to make sure they're going to install the right proper film. It's really part of what we said. And it's the meter is, for me, and I think for not for me, but like for all of us, I think today at Solar Gard or in general that are convinced and know the power of using a meter. When you are using a meter, you are not going back to not using a meter. No. You know the power of this, and it's part of the small. So a meter is part of the small thing that will help your business to differentiate versus other only looking for price. If you look for 20, 30% cheaper price, okay, go for it. Will you have the peace of mind of the warranty? Will you have the peace of mind of the right film that has been installed on the building? Will you have the peace of mind of the service behind? If anything goes wrong tomorrow, do you know if are you free to say that okay, no matter what happened, I will be will be covered. And I think having a meter is definitely something that any dealer that are looking to either step up for the flat glass business or even just starting the flat glass business, and just a starting point, and it's not going to take too long. It's an investment. You have to invest in your business a bit to be able to target and tackle this activity, this market. But I will say it's the number one criteria as someone that are looking to develop their business in architectural.
Couldn't agree more. Absolutely couldn't agree more. I mean, yeah, you could say it's pricey, but at the same time, that meter could help you close your first 2 or 3 jobs
absolutely
instantly.
Yeah, no question.
Definitely on how you present it to the customer, and then beyond that, it could save you from a headache of putting the wrong film on and then say breaking every piece of glass in that person's house, and which usually is the one stepping point that people are scared to hop into architectural is just they get what paralysis by analysis. They think that like there is so much you can go wrong in flat glass, but with the proper tool, it mitigates all that. Yeah. The proper tool, the proper manufacturer with the proper support. You know, like you were saying with Solar Gard, with how many years of experience they had, like that was one crazy thing about the conversation with when we sat down with Steve. Like I didn't realize I've known Steve since I was 18 years old. Like I'm getting to a point where I've known him longer than I haven't known him. And then the same thing goes from Nick, Miguel. I mean, the list goes on. Scott Iverson, Michelle. I mean, almost everyone within the core part of Solar Gard. It's like I didn't realize how much time's passed. Like, you know, and then it's like, and then you know, if anything, I'll poke fun at Steve. I'm like, damn, dude, that's a long time. You must feel old. You know, but you know, it's definitely, it's nice to have that team behind us and knowing that we always have that support. Like anytime that I'm tripped up on a meter, or my brother usually will call me. I mean, I know why, but I don't know why. It's like a lot of times because when I answer, like, ask me a question, like I might know that. I mean, I might know the answer, but I'm still always going to say the same thing. Like, I'm pretty sure it's this.
But call Miguel.
Call Miguel. And if I can't get a hold of Miguel, call Mark. Because if Miguel don't know it, you know, or if Miguel says, "Oh, I'm gonna call right back," he's calling Mark. You know, because even when I started using those meters for the first time, when it came to the glass strength meter or anything like that, I know I'd reached out to Miguel. Miguel was like, "Do you have Mark's number by chance?" And I was like, "Yeah." He goes, "I'm pretty sure this." And, you know, I can ask him, but like if you want to call him directly, I know he'll pick up his phone. And it's like Mark picks up instantly. And same thing, he's very passionate about what he does, very passionate about his products, and how reliable they are. I mean, he's been at majority of the panorama meetings I can remember. He's been at every single one of them. And it's like, again, one of those things where I couldn't get out of my way to realize what was being offered. And then also the other people that were constantly saying like, you need to be using this, you need to be using this. And then it's like, we finally started using it. It's like, oh, this is why. And then the scaling of what you can do with your flat glass from there, because now you're able to offer the product that you didn't know you could, to where it's like the customer and depending on the client itself, like, I wouldn't say price is necessarily the issue, but if you're able to offer them, say, that dark, non-reflective film, and you know you can safely put it on their house windows because they have the right glass, and then all you have to do is fill out an extra piece of paperwork. I mean, I had a client where they wanted to see the warranties. I sent all the PDFs off to them, and they read them too. They read them. They called back. They had questions like 2 or 3 times. I went through the whole scenario. And what says limited? I'm like, sell your home. And I went through and walked through all that. And then, well, it says here you have to have a glass check, or you have to have a film to glass form filled out. I was like, it depends on your square footage, and it also depends what film we're putting on. The film that we're putting on is in the green zone. I don't got to worry about it. My manufacturer's not going to say anything to me because also they know, we have the relationship with them of knowing they know what we're doing, and they're not going to question what we're doing. And if we were going to be installing a film that I knew that was going to be either yellow or red in the cautionary zones, then I'd be metering every single window and taking pictures and then verifying it. But the film, the product we're putting on, we're in the complete safe zone. And then having that reassurance of having that meter and actually knowing how to use that meter and implement it. And then even within that meter, how many different settings and stuff you can go with now too, because beyond having the low E surfaces, now you're starting to have laminated glass. You have a laminated one piece, and then you have the coatings, and then you have laminate or a non-laminated, a regular single panel glass as the dual panel, and then you start getting the triple pane. And now you're really starting to get into territory. You really got to be real confident in what you're doing, because that triple pane glass is extremely expensive. And glass in general is just going through the roof right now too. So, but no, it's I'm very excited with where the industry's going, and I look forward to just trying to have a helping hand to help grow or do anything to help influence the industry in any way I possibly can, because it's provided everything for my family, from me growing up to providing for my family now to providing everything for all my for all the employees that we have work here. Like it's given everything to us.
Yeah.
So if I can have a helping hand in trying to grow any part of it, or help trying to educate or help people get out of their own way to get into flat glass, because realizing like I do enjoy auto. I mean, auto's fun.
Yeah.
But I enjoy flat glass way more. You know, that is now getting into more of the business side of it. Like if you're really looking to grow in this industry, you think about how much glass, how many buildings are out there. Like we could all be tinting as much windows as we possibly can every day for years. We're going to get nowhere near it. We're not going to touch it. So,
I mean, one thing that I remember Nick, and I think he mentioned this during his podcast with you guys, but one thing that he said, and I heard it from a lot of people say, if you want to make a quick money, stick to automotive. If you want to build an empire, start looking for flat glass.
Absolutely.
Because in a way, again, you're going to have to invest a bit of time. You're going to have to invest a bit of money. When you look at the meter, people consider it pricey. It's not pricey. It's pretty cheap. When you
really look the first two big jobs you land.
When you look to the big picture, the expertise that you're going to bring to your team, the credibility that you're going to offer to the customer, you're just going to step up in every single level. There is only wins of having a meter, and I mean, having the meter will be a very good step, but then it's just the start of the story, right? And the good thing in the flat glass business is that I think when you achieve a certain level, you're gonna have a stable business. So you're gonna be used to work on not on the week to week, but you're gonna be used to say, okay, some project is gonna take 12 months to land, 18 months to land, sometimes 24 months to land, depending on the size. Yeah. Because there is, in any big, large commercial project, there is always steering committees. There is always, it's not most of the time one's main job to take the decision. So it's probably the steering committee in charge of the building, gonna look at the budget, gonna say, okay, this year we had a budget for safety film on the building, but we probably gonna report the safety film next year because we do want to change the blinds of the building. And you always have to deal with this kind of uncertainties into project. But when you land a project, that will help your team to work during days, weeks, sometimes probably a 1 month or two. So yeah, it's it's a total different animal when you are looking to develop your business in flat glass. And this is, I think we truly have a bright future in North America for the flat glass business. When you look at the democratization of exterior film, more and more, we're going to see exterior film to be installed. This is I don't want to say it's written, but kind of when you look to dynamic in Europe, it's gonna be this dynamic gonna keep going. And again, the way to differentiate yourself, being an expert and extremely good at marketing and brand ambassador, you will step up in every single way for your business.
No, I 100%. I couldn't agree more. I think that's probably a good spot to, I'd say, wrap this up.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, I appreciate you coming out. I look forward to the next 3 days. And as always, I'm extremely appreciative of what Solar Gard has done for us and the continued partnership between us and the manufacturer. I would say it speaks for itself with the relationships I have within the manufacturer with the different people and, you know, different, I guess the different partnerships we've had throughout the history of
the relationship that you had with different manufacturing company
and then even within the dealer network too.
Yeah,
that
absolutely.
Too. That's a big one for me is the dealer network. Yeah. And then how it's been kind of honed into a very sharp knife now because, you know, you still could be a Panorama dealer, but now you guys with the Panorama Pro, really sharpening that knife. And then I look forward to going to that event every single year now more than ever because of where we are in our company and the goals that we're trying to go after and achieve. And I see where the program's going. I look forward to the future, and I can't wait to see what it brings to us. So
yeah, and trust me, it's the same here at Solar Gard. We are and we are all on board on helping dealer to grow when it's come to Panorama Pro program, Armor Coat, and yeah. One last thing that I would like to mention is the feelings that I had when I first met the team and Solar Gard and Panorama Pro dealer in Albuquerque, New Mexico. You know, from your guts feeling tell you that you are surrounded by family.
Yep.
And the word family, it's not a nice word to use to say, oh, we are part of a family. It's really the feeling that you get having the manufacturing people working at Solar Gard and having the dealer relationship, because we know our dealers since decades, since 10, 20, 30 years, some 40 years. And this is this kind of relationship, the only word to define it is family, right? So
and it breeds success too, having that relationship and letting it, how it's cultivated together. Yep. And always having that support. And it's like when you might be stepping into being uncomfortable in selling a product or going after a product, knowing that you have multiple people to reach out to, from either someone who used to be an installer or a business owner operator, and they've stepped onto the other side of the coin to, down to the nitty gritty of, the technical side. Like Miguel, Miguel is definitely one of the go-to guys when it comes to anything. When it starts getting extremely technical, it's like, I don't even say that. I'm not going to try to guess at this. I'm just going to text Miguel real quick, or I'm going to give him a call, and he's always Johnny on the spot getting back to us. John Mitchell, also same thing. Like the wealth of knowledge between those two is, it's like, I think I know a lot about window film, and some people, like some of my friends' stuff, or even like some people are like, oh, you know a lot. It's like, yeah, I feel like I do, but still in comparison to some of the people in the industry, I know nothing.
Yeah.
Like even when it comes to like how the films work, like I knew how films worked for the most part. I know more now than ever because I've now immersed myself into getting into the technicalities of the film to be able to explain the differences of that to the customer, to educate the customer, because that's the best way to win a customer over or land the job is don't overwhelm them, but at the same time, give them the key parts of information that's going to educate them into where if you do have someone else that's coming in to try to bid the job too, it's, are they doing the same thing? Are they, and it's not even so much to say like, oh, I'm going to try to beat them. It's no, I'm going to give my customer the bullets and the ammunition to where I'm not going to have to worry about, well, did they say this? No, I'm just going to speak in a way and show them how I present the film to where if they do have someone else come in, they're going to be asking that person questions. And if they fall flat on answering them, I might be more expensive, but I'm going to be the option where they're going to be like, you know what? And we've gotten that numerous times where people have approved projects like, you were more, but how either Josh came in or other salesperson came in, how you guys answered your phones, the reminders of consultations and text messages that we have set up now with Tint and the other CRMs that we've now set up to where communication is straight from first entry, getting the lead, to completing the job. Everything is be upfront, contact the customer. Any problem pops up, don't send a text, don't email, call them, make it personal. And it's
problem solver and trust builder.
Yes,
this is that part of the keys.
Yes, trust, education. You get those two out there. Price yourself the way you know that you value what you bring to the table. Not going to win them all. No one does. But the people that are going to value that and they know what they're getting, they care about it, and those are the best customers to have. So
nice to be with you. Thank you for the invitation.
Thanks for coming in a little earlier and sitting down. I was really looking forward to this. Like I said, I'm really excited for the next couple of days. So all right, guys, you know how it works. Subscribe, follow along. Until next time.